I don't know what it is, but when you go through some things and you suffer in some type of way, often you want to, look to the Most High and ask Him, why are you doing this to me, and
I don't know what it
why are
is.
you allowing this to happen to me? I share that with you because I've been experiencing some great pain over the last 2 weeks now. It's not been 1 week; it's been 2 weeks. And in the 2 week period, I've had I've been dealing with gout, and I thought surely that this would be a something would come. I had an episode probably about 2 years ago, and then prior to that, about a year before that. So, and it's always been in my ankle. Now it's in my knee. But to make a long story short, I've been suffering and really pain. I mean, like 2 nights ago, I didn't even go to sleep. That's how bad the pain is. And I'm allergic to the medicines that they want to give, so I don't do that. So I had to kind of bear through it. But what I've learned, everyone, and I wanted to share it with you, is this: that Yah is not a man. He's not a human being. Okay. And often we want to place the responsibility on him when something is not going right in our lives. And I'm thinking on my own mind, I'm thinking, what did I do for you to bring this upon me? The curses go through your head. There's things that we're subject to while we're in exile. But the Most High has relayed to me through my studies that I'm not a human being. I don't think like you. And for you to bring an accusation against me is not fair, and it's not right. It's not just. Yes, Yah has done things to certain individuals. He's done things to Job. He's done things to the children of Israel, for his purposes and for his cause. But often Yah allows things to happen. Of course, he's in charge of everything, but he allows it to happen. And we don't understand why. Why is he allowing this to happen? And so I would advise that we would all learn how not to be accusatory of this great king, as if he doesn't have our best interests at heart. Regardless to what we're going through and we're experiencing, it could be something that's genetically passed on from one generation to the next. You might have something that you're genetically you have a disposition to, so you might get it. You might have diabetes in your family. You might have, some other things that are going on, and you don't find those things out until later. So, even in our sicknesses and the things that he said, I will bring these diseases upon you, I'll bring inflammation to you. That's part of the curse as well. But you know what? It's not his fault. It's not Yah's fault. Okay. But even in it, you have to be able to see the compassion and the mercy of Yahweh. We bring things on ourselves. It's just what it is. And then we want to blame him and point the finger at him. I'm speaking for myself. Okay. So I just wanted to share that with you tonight to kind of let you know that even in our Torah portion, when I first began to read it, I saw something in it. And it really checked me. It made me really understand that Yah's not a human being. He isn't. And so everything that he is speaking to us through the Torah portion, through his servant Moshe, is indicative of the fact that he is not human. He is not a human being. His compassion goes past that of a human's. His understanding and his wisdom and his knowledge supersedes everything that you and I can ever imagine or even think. So when we're talking and we're praying to him and we're asking questions, which is wise because wisdom is the power to ask questions, we need to be careful, though, to remember who we're talking to. We're not talking to someone who thinks like us. We're talking to someone, and a power that knows everything, that has established in the heavens and the earth and the stars and the moon and the sun, and put them in their place and causes them to follow their path in which he directs them. And he directs them by their name. He directs the seasons. He directs the winds. He directs the vegetation and plant life. He directs everything. He's in charge of all, activity under the sun and above the sun and in the galaxies. This is what he does. And for you and I to have access to him as such, we have to humble ourselves. I'm using my experience as an example to our class tonight, that we have to learn how to humble ourselves. Because if we don't humble ourselves, we will make a mistake of believing that he is like us in that way, and he is not. His mercy goes beyond, it's surpass understanding. See? So let me open tonight with reading out of, I think I want to go to Isaiah chapter number 55. Isaiah chapter number 55. I was just going to begin in our Torah portion, but I think it's important because I'm kind of being led in that direction in my mind. Like this will be appropriate for what I just spoke about. What's good for us to understand is that he says that my ways are not your ways and my thoughts are not your thoughts. Okay. Forgive the ads. Because I use this app, this is what happens. So Isaiah chapter number 55 speaks to this. First, the Holy One, the set apart one of Israel, gives an invitation in verse number 1 and going on, but we only have enough time to discuss what I just mentioned. Here it is. No, let me do it. All you who are thirsty, come to the water. You without money, come buy and eat. Yes, come buy wine, milk without money. It's free. Why spend money for what isn't food and your wages for what doesn't satisfy? Listen carefully to me and you will eat. You will enjoy the fat of the land. Open your ears and come to me and listen well, and you will live. I will make an everlasting covenant with you. The grace I assured to David. I have given him as a witness to the peoples, a leader and a lawgiver for the peoples. You will summon a nation you do not know, and a nation that doesn't know you will run to you. For the sake of Yahweh your Elohim, the set apart one, the Kadosh one of Israel, who will glorify you. This is what Yah is talking to us as his people. Seek Yahweh while he is available. Okay, because he's not always going to be available. This is the truth. Yah is not always going to be available. Okay, and knowing that, okay, let's just stop right there. Let's pause for just a moment. Knowing that Yahweh is not always going to be available, that means that you and I have to learn how to take advantage of the time that we do have access to him, okay? And the moment in time in which we're in right now. And I know that we have things that we have to do and other things that we're responsible for people and for places and things and business and so forth and so on. But it is an honor and it is a privilege to be able to seek Yahweh, and especially while he may be found. And we can call upon him while he is still nearby. Okay, there's coming a day when there won't be any more access because judgment will then be executed upon the earth. Okay, so because this is the case, and we do have access to Yah, and he is available to us, and he's literally made himself available to us while we're in our exile. So even makes it even better. Okay, but in our seeking, we have to find what is our reason and purpose. What are we looking for? Why we seek Yahweh? You know, are we looking for wisdom? Are we looking for knowledge? Are we looking for personal gain? Are we looking to fully understand his ways? What are we looking for? You know, often we seek Yah for the wrong reasons. You know, we really do. We put things that are in front of us before him. And Yah is not a human being. The idea of us seeking Yahweh means that we have to be ready to adopt the ways of Yahweh. You know, David had said it. He said, you know, that you're my shepherd, right? And you're leading me. You won't diminish me. You lead me beside the still waters. You lead me in green pastures. You lead me beside the still waters. You restoreth my soul. You know, you maketh me to lie down, you know, and you lead me on the path of righteousness for your name's sake. You know, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for thou art with me. You're my rod, my staff, they comfort me. He understood that. You know, he understood that Yah's Torah and his judgments are supposed to be the priority of our life. Seeking Yahweh, what are the things that we can seek from him? You know, are we really looking for change in our lives? And so that's something that we have to ponder. We have to think and consider, because I don't believe that we're taking advantage of this relationship in the right way. I think we're getting sidetracked with other things, like things around us. And often I thought, well, surely David, he had a lot of experiences. He was being chased, people trying to put him to death. There were people hanging outside of his house, waiting for him to leave so they could kill him. Saul was chasing him. People were snitching on him. He thought people was his friend, and they ended up not being his friend, lying to him. So they had the right words to say. So he's saying all these different things. And not only that, but he talked about all the evil that was around him and the evildoers and how much he hated them. So this relationship and also too, the sin that he had and the transgressions that he got exposed, David got exposed for the things that he has done, and more specifically, the affair that he had with Bathsheba. But he doesn't just talk about the affair with Bathsheba. He talks about his crimes, and he talks about how he was born in sin and that he was shaped in iniquity through his mother, through conception, through the act of sexual conduct with his mother and his father. That's how he said it was here. And he asked Yah, which is amazing. I'm not going to go there right now, but he asked him to give him a clean heart. Yeah, which is his mind. Okay. So the thing that gets us is that David's problems, and he's given us an insight. We're getting an inside look into his life. We're going to go there a little bit. He's given us a little bit of an insight into himself in order for us to understand Yahweh's ways. So what he does is he exposes himself publicly. And this has been the story for literally thousands of years. This scroll and this story has been something that's followed David ever since he committed that heinous act. But he opened himself up, and we can learn from that. I reveal things about my personal life and who I am as a person because I'm trying to emulate David, because he's the one that Yahweh has chosen to be a leader over the nation of Israel, which he wants the people of Israel to emulate their king and his behavior and his conduct, not in the bad way, but in a good way, to show Yah's compassion. That is the theme of this in particular Torah portion. When you go out, you would think, well, how's compassion connected to going out? Well, when we read our Torah portion, you're going to find out all this week. You're going to see Yah's compassion. You're going to see his mercy. Okay. Well, back to Isaiah. He says, seek Yahweh while he's available and call him while he is still nearby. Let the wicked person abandon his way, and the evil person his thoughts. Let him return to Yahweh, and he will have mercy. In some texts, it talks about compassion, because mercy and compassion are called chesed. It's the same identical word that's being used. Chesed in Hebrew, and I'll write it on here for you right quick, so you'll know what I'm talking about. So when I talk about it later on this week, you'll know. Here you go. Come on. Internet is going crazy. Chesed. Chesed. Okay. It means mercy. It means compassion. That's what it means. Okay. And Yah calls chesed what you will call his saints. Saints are called this too. Okay. This is a term that's used for saints. Okay. Because they're the ones who are going to receive the compassion and the mercy of Yahweh. We need mercy and we need compassion. Okay. And in this text that we're reading right now, it said that if you and I, okay, the person who's wicked, prior to us knowing Yah's ways, in his thoughts, right? And trying to understand what he's saying. We were wicked. And that's hard for us to digest. And even while we're turning from our wickedness, we still have some wicked tendencies that we need to get rid of, because Christianity did a number on our people. It made us believe that some way or somehow, all you need to do is say you're sorry and that's it. Nothing with action, no actionable things, no real self-evaluation. You know, it's instant oatmeal, it's Ovaltine, it's chocolate milk, Nestle's quick chocolate milk. You just take a scoop of it, you put it inside, and you mix it in milk, and all of a sudden you have this tasty chocolate beverage. We would rather take the powder than to plant the cocoa plant, and go through the process of raising it and then getting your chocolate from that. You understand? So here it is that the prophet is telling us that Yah will have mercy on us if you and I would return to Elohim, and he'll freely forgive. That's different than a human being. That's different. Human beings are unforgiving. The average human being is unforgiving. What they do is they hold on to everything that they need to hold on to in order to justify why they treat you the way that they treat you. You know, I've been in business before, and I had people who claimed that I was, you know, the nice guy, and I was somebody that they looked up to publicly. And in private, they were saying things about me that wasn't true. You see? Everyone puts on a great face in the beginning, but they don't really show you who they are. You know, that's what human beings are. Human beings are unforgiving in nature. They thrive off of unforgiveness. Why am I focusing on this? Is simply because I'm going to show you the contrast between your Elohim and people, so you and I won't get it twisted no more. But the condition of us receiving this mercy is what they call to return, okay? And to return to him, okay, it means to shuv. And often that's a S, put in English here, H, right with my finger because my pen don't want to work, a U, okay? And usually it would have a bet with a B sound, okay? But it's pronounced as a V. It's called shuv, okay? Shuv, okay? Shuv. And it has to do with a captive. That's what it has to do. It has to do with a captive, someone being held captive. Shuv means to return from a condition, all right? Listen to me, listen carefully. And let's give Yahweh glory and let's give him praise. Shuv has to do with returning from one state to the next, okay? And it's unfortunate that this pen likes to play games. All right, so it slows me down. So this means the east, okay? And we have over here the west, okay? To shuv means that you started off in the east. Okay, that's where you started. That's where your home is. Your home is in the east. So you started here, and then someone came and took you captive. And they brought you somewhere else that is not your home. They took you to the west. So what they did was they stripped off all your clothing. They shaved off your hair. They took away your culture. They took away your language. They took away your traditions. They took away everything, okay? Your possessions. They completely strip you bare of nothing. You're just completely naked, okay? And not only do they do that and humiliate you, they cut your beard off and all that sort of thing, okay? They also turned around and took your mind. The goal is to destroy you, okay? And the reason why the Creator is asking us to return to him is that you and I have to turn from a Western mindset and come back towards your home in the East. If you're going to turn from the Western mindset, right, you have to turn away from Western culture. You have to turn away from Western diet. You have to turn away from Western thought. You're going to have to turn away from Western sexuality. You have to turn away from all the things that you've been taught. And that is the test that you and I, and the task, not only the test, is the task that's before us. That's the task, is to turn from where you've been. So returning to Yah is not just, hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for offending you. That's not the term. Because shuv means to return, to turn your head from where you've been looking and refocus your attention on your home. And your home is where your Elohim resides, and it's in Yerushalayim. You understand? That's the home that he wants us to focus on, in your homeland. So while you're here, you have to get rid of all this filth that you've been learning from these wicked people. You understand? They can't even have a relationship without condoning acts of homosexuality, lesbianism, transgender, having affairs, adultery, fornication, uncleanness. Our Torah portion has a lot to do with sexual conduct. It can be an uncomfortable subject for those who have a Western mind because of all the filth that you and I have been taught, as I've been stating over the last several months. So when Yah talks to us about returning to him, he's literally telling you, I need you to turn back your mind towards this. That's where I need you to turn. That's the reason why you turn to the east when you pray. You're turning back to your homeland. You're not turning back to the sun like some stupid people keep talking about. Okay? Where you're worshiping the sun. Look, you idiot. Shlomo had said that when your people are captive, they should turn back to their land. Has nothing to do with the sun. That's religion. That's not the truth. If you and I decide to get rid of this wickedness and this wicked thought process, and what is wickedness? Let's define it. All wickedness is, everyone, is someone who has left the path, which you and I would say the derek, meaning the path of Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh. That's a wicked person. You understand? That's the definition. They have left the path. On Yahweh's path, there's a path of righteousness. He said, you lead me on the paths of righteousness for your name's sake. Yah is the one who's leading. But David had even talked about a person. Listen to me carefully. In Psalms, and I believe it's in Psalms, I don't want to be mistaken. It's very important that you understand this. It's something that literally blew my mind. He talked about how people cherish. Oh, it's in Psalm 66. Okay. And we'll go there in a second. Psalm 66, he talks about a person that cherishes evil. Okay. They cherish evil thoughts. That's what they cherish. They hold on to evil. What is evil? Let's define that, since we define what's wicked, so we can finally start learning what is evil. Evil in Hebrew is called Ra. And Ra means bad. It means dysfunction. So it doesn't function properly. Good, which is called Tov, means it's functional. You understand? Yah's ways are not evil. Yah's paths are good. They're Tov, they're functional. But some of us, now I'm live as well, want to hold on and cherish that which is dysfunctional. You see how that changes everything? You see how if you get the definition of the true understanding of a word, you'd be able to fully understand what y'all's talking about? It's not that people just cherish evil because they don't watch any horror films and they don't like killing people. There's a whole nother level that you and I need to be aware of if we're seeking the living Elohim. We can't keep playing human games with the Creator. He's not buying it. Dysfunctional thought is evil. What is a dysfunctional thought? Something that doesn't good. It doesn't bring anything. It doesn't bring any shalom. It doesn't bring any peace. It doesn't help anybody in the family. It doesn't do any of these things. It's not good for your wife. It's not good for the husband. It's not good for the children. It's not good for your employer. It's not good for the employee. It's not good for the king or the queen or the prince or the princess. It's not good. It's Ra. The mind, the human mind, is corrupt by nature. So the favor and the grace and the compassion and the mercy that Yah has decided to have for humanity, listen, is to go through the children of Israel and to teach us his ways. And in his ways is righteousness and that which is Tov. There's nothing what Yah has said that's dysfunctional. Nothing. You can't classify it and say, well, he said go in and kill everybody. That's bad. No, not according to his perspective. It's not. It's 100% good. But you and I don't understand that because his ways are higher than our ways. Listen to what the King of the universe has said. My thoughts are not your thoughts. And your ways are not my ways, says Yahweh. You and I are way below righteousness. Yah has shown us mercy because he's full of it, meaning compassion on a people who continually go against him so they can still cherish what? The dysfunction. I know I have some mental healthcare professionals on here. You know what I'm talking about. They just seem like the people that you're dealing with just seem like they can't get rid of that dysfunction. It's ingrained into them. It's part of their habit. Yah's saying, I need you to start looking at yourself carefully. I need you to start looking at your thoughts. Your thought life is the problem. David's problem was his thought life. It was his thought life. It was the way that he saw things. It was what he believed to be satisfying to himself. When you discover that you've been off and you come to be broken, then that's when you'll start confessing and saying the truth. Yah has to break us down. We're not okay because we read the Torah. Yah's looking for more than a person who just reads it. He wants a person to adopt and adapt to the ways in which he has said. Your ways are not my ways. I'm telling you right now that if you're not following him in his ways and his paths, it said earlier what we read. What did it say, everyone? It said, seek Yahweh while he is available. Call on him while he's still nearby. So you can get taught. We got to stop coming into this as if you and I have all the answers. Yah is breaking me down. And encourage the people. Tell them what the process is. Tell them that my thoughts are not your thoughts and my ways are not your ways. That means that you, in order to be in alignment with the Creator, you have to get on a different frequency. If you and I plan and intend on walking with him, then you and I have to choose another path, another direct. That's what you and I have to choose. As high as the sky is above the earth, my ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Yah is far beyond. So if this is the case, and he said to seek Yah while he's available, and call on him while he's still nearby. And he says, my thoughts are higher. What is he telling us? Let me answer it. Yah is telling you and I that you and I are going to have to elevate. I am not a man, and I'm not going to come down, you hear me, to walk among you so you can believe what I said. I'm not going to minimize my holiness so you can think that me and you are just alike. I'm going to share with you in Psalms, just popped in my head, where Yah says that me and you are nothing alike. Psalms number is Tehillim, Psalms 50. I'm going to stick with this thought. This whole chapter is beautiful, but let's just stay right here about this thought life, okay? So we can get an understanding. Yah says this in verse number 16. Listen carefully. But to the wicked, Elohim says. Again, let's define. We know who the wicked is. It's someone who got off the path of Yah's path. And by the way, the wicked he's talking to are the wicked of his people. He's not addressing the Goyim. He's not. Because if you look right here in verse number, verse number 4, he calls to the heavens above and to the earth in order to judge his people. Gather to me, my faithful, those who made a covenant with me by sacrifice. The heavens proclaim his righteousness, for Elohim himself is judge. Listen, my people, I'm speaking, Yisrael, and I'm testifying against you. I, Elohim, your Elohim. That's who he's talking to. But to the wicked of his people, Elohim says, what right do you have to proclaim my laws or take my covenant on your lips? When you so hate to receive instruction and fling my words behind you. This is an individual that had the opportunity to hear Yahweh's words. And it's decided not that they just, someone else took them off the path. They have their own mind. They decided to leave Yahweh's path. He's addressing the wicked, saying, what right do you have to proclaim my laws and take my covenant on your lips? Michael Kim, you talk about Passover, you talk about matzah, you talk about Sukkot, you do all this talk, you talk about Yom Kippur, and you proclaim my covenant that I made with Abraham. You talk about circumcision. You got all the right answers. And you let that come off your lips. So you see here that the wicked themselves can and know the Kukim, and they understand the covenant. You hate to receive Torah, which is instruction. You hate it. My instructions are my words that you throw behind your back. Because you don't like my ways, you don't like my thoughts. My thoughts are my words, and I gave you my word, which is the Torah. This is how I know that you hate me and you hate instruction. When you see a thief, you join up with them. Him in this text here. You throw in your lot with adulterers. You got conversation. You sit at the table with them and you never open your mouth. You invite them to your homes. You sit at lunch with them. You talk to them on the phone. You invite them over to Sukkot, thinking hopefully that if they heard Yahweh's words, they would change. No, they will never change. Unless they make a decision. You can't help them. See, we're hopeful. I'll help them. I'll tell them. I'll spend time with them. I'll study with them. All this, when all you're doing is watering down Yah's words. That's all you're doing. You give your mouth, 19, free rein for evil, for dysfunction. You're dysfunctional. You harness your tongue to deceit. You sit and you speak against your kinsmen, your relatives. You slander your own mother's son. Listen carefully. When you do such things, should I stay silent? You think I'm going to stay quiet? You may have thought I was just like you, but I will rebuke and indict you to your face. That's what I'm going to do. The things that he mentions about a thief and about an adulterer and giving your mouth free rein for dysfunction and harness your tongue for deceit, and you speak against your relatives and you slander with that mouth of yours your own mother's son. Those things And you thought that I was just like you. You thought that I was a man. You thought that I would let it go. You thought I would sit and throw my lot in with an adulterer. You thought that I would join up with a thief and say, okay, I get it. You're just going through something. That's the reason why you took it. I'm not going to let any thieves go. I'm not letting any adulterers go. Anyone who does deception, anyone who does slander, you think I'm going to stay silent? I'm coming to judge the earth and to judge my people for these very things in which you're doing. So therefore, I'm going to tell you, consider this. You who forgot or forget Elohim. Forgetting Elohim or the Shakak means that you have moved off of what Yah has said, or I will tear you to pieces with no one to save you. So if you're looking for salvation through a man, I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. Whoever offers thanksgiving as his sacrifice honors me, and to him who goes the right way, I will show the salvation of Elohim. It's contingent upon you and I going the right way. The right way is not joining up with a thief. The right way is for not to throw in our lot with the adulterers. It's not to give our mouth free rein for that which is dysfunctional, bad, that brings misery and pain. You see? That's who Yah is going to show his salvation to. One last place we'll go. I did promise you that I would go to, I think it was 66. I did say that. So let me follow up with that. To end our brief study tonight on what our Elohim is trying to tell us. I'm having compassion on you. That's what I'm doing. I want you to know how I feel. It's in chapter number 66, verse number 16. It says this, come and listen, all you who fear Elohim. Isaiah 55 says, come, all you who want to get water to drink and all who want to eat, right? Come and listen. He told us to listen, you eat well. So come and listen. It's an invitation. All you who fear Elohim, I will tell you what he has done for me. I cried out to him with my mouth. His praise was on my tongue. See, it's about that mouth. It's about that tongue. Had I cherished evil thoughts, Yahweh, the master, the supreme master, would not have listened. If what? If I cherished dysfunctional thoughts. So I want to leave us here with that tonight. This is on me. This is on me. I'm sharing my life to tell you what Yah is talking about. He's talking about holding thoughts in your mind that is totally contradictory to what he's about. When we read our Torah portion on Yom Kamishi and on Shabbat, Yah's going to show us what he's talking about. There's no way possible to be like him and hold evil thoughts or cherish them, guarding them, put them, storming away in your head. Things that happened over 35 years ago, you're still holding on to it. How bad somebody treated you or what you went through. What someone said to you. You and I can never move forward until you and I let go of the raw of our thought life. There's no room inside of this place, in this makom. Yah is not going to dwell there. He's not going to answer us. Come and listen, all you who fear Yahweh. And I will tell you what he's done for me. This is King David telling us what he did for him. He only delivered him because David had to get rid of the evil thoughts that he had. He saved him because he abandoned his thoughts. This is the type of king that we need. Somebody to tell us the truth. You don't need a man to sit here and lie to you and blow smoke up your behind and tell you that you're 100. You're not. We're in a state of exile because of our thought life. And we're going to have to make some changes. I see the extremity of Yah, how extreme he is and how severe it is. I find that there's no middle ground with Yah. Either you're righteous or you're wicked. Either you're Ra or you're Tov, one of the two. Either you're knowledgeable or you're dumb. Period. You and I cannot continue to vacillate between two opinions. The Elohim that you and I serve is an Elohim of compassion, mercy, and justice, and righteousness, and judgment. But David wanted to tell us what Yah has done for him. He could only praise Yahweh because he didn't cherish evil thoughts or dysfunction or misery or pain. David didn't even want that. Okay, listen. The people that he went, he said, look, I prayed for people that hated me. David was perfect in this. This is why Yah chose him. And this is why Yah chose you and I. Think back what he just told us. What did he just say? He told us in Isaiah 55, and I'll go back right before we close to go back and tie it up for us. Verse 19, he says, but in fact, Elohim did listen. He did pay attention to my prayer. Blessed be Elohim, who did not reject my prayer or turn his grace away from me. Why? Because I didn't cherish evil thoughts. Back in Isaiah, chapter number 55. What did he say? Here you go. Did he not just tell us when we read, this is 55? Did he not just tell us that I need you to open your ears in verse 3 and come to me and listen well and you will live? I will make an everlasting covenant with you, the grace I assured to David. I want to make an everlasting covenant with you. I want to give you something I promised to David. I not only want to give you David as your king, a witness to the peoples or a leader and a lawgiver. I not only want to give that to you, but I want to give you an everlasting covenant based upon what I swore to David. So if you and I have anything in common with David, which you and I do, then we should adopt the things that David said. He's given us a roadmap on how to get back to the Creator. He's showing us what the expectations are of the Creator. He's telling us to be known. You and I have to be a certain way. That's what he said. And we're going to continue on this theme. Okay, we're going to continue here. Well, why David? Why? So you guys got me. I can't help myself. Because in Psalms, we're not going to read the whole thing, but I'm going to read just one little part of it so you can sleep really well. David said this. He's asking Yah in verse number 13 or 12, restore my joy in your salvation. That salvation means, and Yah is always being there for him against his enemies. Okay. And let a willing spirit, okay, something willing about me, uphold me. And if you do that, then I will teach the wicked your ways. And sinners will return, shuv to you. It's all connected. It's all connected. So on Yom Kamishi, we're going to go over what happened in Psalms 51 so we can tie it all up together. You understand? Because Yah is talking to us through David's life. And he used David so he could teach us the wicked Yahweh's ways. And sinners will shuv to you. You see? Because remember, it's about shuving. It's about going back from the west, going back to the east. That's what it's about. It's about abandoning the thought life. So when we talk about we want to go home, when we talk about we want to be with the Most High, and we talk all this stuff, are we the people that in Psalms 50 that said that we know Yah's covenant, we pronounce his kukim, and we say the things that are Yah's, but yet we still take Yah's instructions? His instructions have to do with our conduct and what we say and how we think. Ultimately, that's what we'll do. Do you understand? So that's where we're at. See, this is different. This ain't your regular Wednesday night or Thursday or whatever Bible study class. We're not Christians. We're not Hebristians. We are the sons and the daughters of the living Elohim. And therefore, you and I are going to have to elevate and step our game up mentally. That's your class for tonight. I want you to know that I love every last one of you. And it's my job to tell you and I, not just you and I and everybody else listening, that Yah is not playing with us. He is not a human being. He's not. And we're going to have to do some inventory. We'll have to change some things. Therefore, you and I, we're going to have to be challenged. And the challenge comes from within. You understand? And Yah is bringing us to this place. Because truly, his compassion is, I'm going to correct you if you want to be corrected. If you want to turn, you want to change, you want a life that has shalom and peace, and you want to have that everlasting covenant with me, you're going to have to do what David did. That's what you and I are going to have to do. We're going to have to be taught, and we're going to have to be willing to learn. We have to be listen. And the key was come and listen. So that's the call. The call is to come and listen. Don't turn your ear deaf to this. Don't say, well, I can't come back on Yom Kamishi because it's too tough. This dude has lost his mind and he's screaming at us. So obviously I can't do it no more. I'm in a PL form, and you know what it is. It's forceful and it's intensive, because that's how Yah said, I need you to talk to my people. Because you don't have nothing else on the line but what they call salvation. That's what you have on the line. You have on the line your inheritance. And to me, that's worth you being told in a very forceful and intense way, because Yah wants to give it to you. But if you don't fit the bill, you're welcome, Akoti. If you don't fit the bill and you're playing like you want to play games, then it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. He means I want everything. I want your thought life. That's what I want. That's what I want. Okay? Hallelujah. Praise be to the living Elohim. Any remarks? Thank you, Akoti.
You was on fire.
Oh yeah, I am. I am on fire because y'all is burning up some stuff in me. Aki, he's burning me up. You know, I told you last week on Shabbat, he says, Uviarta. Uviarta means I need you, he said, to get this stuff out of your midst. He says, Uviarta, I need you to burn this so you can get it outside the camp of my people. Uviarta, burn it from the midst of you to get it outside of the community. Take this evil from out from Israel. I confess, my thought life has not been what God wants it to be. I got some stuff I got to change, and that's just what it is. I got to start looking at things differently. I don't have to contemplate and consider and ponder. I don't have to gnaw on this because I don't want to be the one to bring anything into the midst of the community. Period. Because if I truly love you, I won't do that. If I'm going to be anything like the Creator, I want to have compassion, once you show my people compassion by you changing your life. How about that? You want to get out here and feed 1,000 people with hot dogs and potato chips, but you don't want to show compassion by changing your life, your thought life, and how you respond and how you act and what you think. You don't want to do any of that. You just want to proclaim what I said, but you don't want to live it. No, not me. No, I'm not. I'm your brother, and that's the way it is. I say shalom to each and every last one of you in Lila Tov. I'll see you on Yom Kamishi.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Toda Rabba.
Hallelujah.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Baruch atah Yahweh. Hallelujah.